start first. I'm one of the IT managers for the technology department. As Leslie said, it's about 10 after 4, and we're gonna get this rolling. The people on the meeting with us today from technology, we have Tony Patterson, who is the IT manager as well. He works for client services. Wendy Martin is another one of our IT manager, and she does the integrated data systems. And working with her is Joe Brown, and they handle the RICOR among many other things. And then we also have, let's see, is it Tiffany Sizemore is on today. She works with SIS, and Tiffany, is Chad here as well?
Yes, ma'am. He is. And Chad is going to present today as well.
Oh, okay. So Chad and Tiffany are going to present. And then so I'm going to start, and I also have with me Elner Kapati. He's one of my sysadmins, and he's going to be doing the Chromebooks. And then last but not least, as Tony Patterson's one of his go-to guys, and he's just fantastic, is Zach Tuckweiler, and he's going to do the Windows machines or the Windows laptops. So I'm going to go start real quick, and I have the iPads, and mine is in a case, and I know I have a glare from the window, but it looks like this. This is one of our new cases, and they do have a little kickstand on the back that you can pull out and rest on a surface. I wanted to show that first.
Excuse me. I can't see you. I can't see you. I've also the screen. I can't see anything. Just MD.
So, have you turned off the incoming video?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes people do that to help with bandwidth, because the video takes up a lot of bandwidth, and it helps the audio. So I wanted to show the little kickstand on the back of the iPad right there, and then you can set it down and work. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and at the bottom you have the home button right here. You push it and it turns the iPad on, and I apologize for the glare. Working up the side of the iPad, right here on the right-hand side, which because it's facing you might be on the left, are the volume buttons up and down right here, and you can feel them when you run your hand across the side. Then right above that is the power button. To power on or to power off the iPad, you just push and hold, and then and then what you'll see next when you power it off is that you can then slide this. Or if you don't want to power it off, you hit this cancel down here, and then you come back to your home screen. At the top on the corner, on the corner right here, when you're looking at the iPad, it's going to be on the left-hand side is the headphone jack, and that your headphones go right into here. Your charging port, this is where you plug in the cable to charge it. You should have gotten a brick and a USB cable, and it goes right in here to charge it up. The recommendation every night is that you plug it in to charge it up, and you also power it off, and at least power it off one time and then restart it so it's a nice clean restart in the morning. So to get started, you're going to push the power button or push the home button, and it'll wake up, and then you're going to push it again and it'll unlock. And gosh, it's so bad. So bad. And this is your home page. And the first thing that you're going to do, the very first thing that you're going to do before you start your day of lessons is you're going to come to the second page, and if you slide this way, it moves through all the pages that are here. The last page has this utility folder, and we'll get back to that in a second. But hit the home button and you come back to the very first page, you slide. The very first thing that you do every single morning is you log into Teams, and you push the app and it opens up Teams, and you log in and you push if you've already signed in the first time, you just have to sign in, push the sign in. You'll get enter the password. I can't tell if you can see it. You enter your student's password, and the student's password is made up of the first initial, the last name initial, and the lunch number. and that's your password. So you sign in, and it comes to your Teams page. Once you're all signed into Teams, you can actually then hit the home button. And then the next place that you want to go is you want to go to Clever. The Clever icon's right here, and it opens up Safari, opens up another page, and you log in. And the Safari login page should look like this. I know that sometimes it doesn't look like that, but it should look like this. And then you can click and you log in, say log in with your Active Directory credentials, and then you start entering in, you sign in with your student's entire username. So it's going to be HCPS dash your last name and then first initial and last first name initial and your middle name initial at Henrico Students, all one word, .org. So when you sign in, anytime you see this Microsoft window, you are signing in with your entire email address. So Henrico, HCPS dash username at henricostudents.org. So I wanted to also go over and show you it's one thing. I'm looking at my cheat sheet here. When you get signed in, troubleshooting things for the iPad. So I did it. I did it because I wanted to demonstrate it. If you double click, if you double push this home button, double push it, it brings up all of the apps that you have open. And so I opened up like 5 or 6 apps to demonstrate. And what you want to do on an iPad, an app is never quit. It's never stopped and never quit unless you go up. And you're going to swoosh it up and you're going to close everything. If you have any issues with your iPad, it's running really slow or kind of being funky, you just need to double push the home button and it'll show you everything that's opened, and then you just swoosh it up and then you're quitting everything, and then you can relaunch the thing that you're having an issue with. Of course, shutting it off does the exact same thing, and it's actually a shutdown, a real good clean shutdown will never hurt anybody. And it's actually really good for the iPad. So the last thing that I wanted to show you is Safari. If somebody says you need to go clear your cache and cookies in your browser, you're going to come all the way over. Remember I said all the way over to the last page. There's this utilities folder here. You're going to hit the utilities folder, and then you're going to go to settings. Settings is the gear. You're going to open up settings, and you're going to find Safari in the list, which Safari is in like the 3rd or the 4th or 5th group down. You're going to hit Safari, and then you're going to come down on the other side once you hit Safari, and it's a blue link, and it says clear history and website data. And you hit that, and then it pops up a window, and you say the red clear, and it clears all the history and data. And then to make sure you're getting out of there nice and clean, you're going to double click this home button and you're going to swoosh it closed. So everything is now closed, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to start over. So that is all I wanted to show everybody on the iPad today. Does anybody have any questions? I know it's a lot of stuff. So any questions? Okay. So I'm going to pass it off to Elner Kapati, who's going to talk with us and show us all about working with the Chromebooks.
All right. Hello, my name is Elner Kapati. I'm a sysadmin here for the school. Just going to give you a quick preview of the Chromebook. Basically, Chromebooks. Let me turn off the blurring effect. All right. Basically, Chromebooks can be the same setup as every laptop, with a few differences. On the Chromebook, on the left side, we'll have 2 USB ports here for external keyboard or hard drive. Also an HDMI port for an external monitor, and then the power port up on the top corner near the lid. And then on the other side, on the right side, we'll have a plug for your headphones or mic also. Now, the keyboard for a Chromebook is going to be a little bit different from a regular laptop or Windows device. On the top row, we don't have the function keys, the F1 through F12. Instead, they've been replaced with these basically keys to mimic on a browser. So starting here with the arrow keys, that's like the back key, front key, and then we're gonna have the refresh button, full screen. This button here is like the windowed mode, just like when you double tap the iPad home button, and it brings up all the windows that have been opened up. So in here, when I click it, it'll show up all the 2 windows that I have open, the 2 applications that I have open. It's another way to be able to see everything that you're working on. And then next to that, we'll have the brightness keys, the 2 little starbursts for enhancing brightness and lowering, then the mute button and sound, and then the power button. Another difference between the Chromebook and the Windows devices, instead of a caps lock, we have the search button here, which is a little magnifying glass, and that works just like the Windows key on the bottom left-hand side of the space bar on a Windows device. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the desktop to this Chromebook. And all right, now you should be seeing my desktop here for the Chromebook. The first thing you'll want to take a look at on the bottom right-hand side, we have the clock along with your battery indicator. It'll tell you how much life you have. This is your Wi-Fi indicator. Right now, full signal. If the signal starts going bad, it'll start graying out and reducing. But one thing you'll want to do, after you sign in, to connect to your wireless network, you'll just go ahead and click on here. It'll open up your window, and you click right here underneath Wi-Fi. It'll give you all the networks that that your Chromebook's picking up. You'll just click on the network that you want to connect to, type in your password, click connect. Now, after you do that, it'll go through, connect to it. What you'll want to do is come to it again and click on the network that you just connected to, because you'll want to make sure that's set to connect to it automatically, so that whenever you're in range of this network, you'll automatically connect to it. Now, you could connect, multiple networks if, you have a mobile hotspot at home, and then your mobile, and then your home Wi-Fi, or even if you're, go out to Starbucks or something, you're able to connect to them, and you could actually have it set so that you can connect to them automatically here also. But this is your Chrome desktop. On the bottom, on taskbar, we'll have the Chrome browser and the Teams app automatically pinned. When you open up your browser, this will be the home page that it automatically opens up to for Clever, for them just to one-click log in. On the left, bookmarks. These are the main bookmarks that we've set up for the students to get to the services that they need, Schoology, Office, and Google Drive. Now, they're also able to customize the bookmarks, add bookmarks for their classes and everything too. Let's see, one other thing right here is just like the start menu on the Windows device, this little circle. It's the same thing as pressing the search key on the keyboard. It'll bring up this little window, like the start menu, and the Play Store is accessible from here also. This is the apps that we've approved for students to download onto the Chromebooks. Here's also like the camera, just like the start menu on a Windows device to get to all the other settings. Let's see. One thing you want to do, instead of just shutting the lid at the end of the day, you do want to make sure you sign out, or you could power off your Chromebook. It is a good idea to power off at least once a week, but better to at least sign out every day rather than just shutting your lid and leaving your account signed in. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, Eleanor, I've got a question, or actually a statement. So something that Margaret and I discovered yesterday in speaking to some of the TSTs about the Chromebooks, when you jogged my memory, when you were on that start page where you showed the battery and the Wi-Fi connect, we discovered yesterday that at the schools that families are going to in elementary, they're reporting issues with teams or systems failing. And what we've discovered is that if they're running off battery power instead of being plugged in, when the battery gets low, the battery starts pulling from other resources, and you may have a degradation of service for some of those systems. So some of the troubleshooting has been the TSTs have actually had to go in and reseat the battery, but it's probably a good practice that, if you have the ability to stay plugged in, stay plugged in. But if you happen to notice at the end of every day, you start to get kicked out of things you weren't getting kicked out of before, it may be something as simple as your battery's running low and it's pulling power from other systems, to stay on. So just something we just discovered, while we're out for virtual learning, that's probably worth noting.
Is there anything else? Any other questions? That's about it for me.
Thank you, Eleanor. Zach, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. Thank you. Eleanor, there you go.
Can you unshare? There you go. Thank you. All right. I have the laptops that our 6th through 12th graders use, and I stole my daughter's. This is her 3380 right here. And, it doesn't have any kind of latch or anything to open it up. You just lift the lid to open it. On the left-hand side, there's a USB port, a micro SD port, and a HDMI, and then Ethernet. Ethernet would allow you to plug directly into your router at home if you're experiencing connection issues. That would help determine if the Wi-Fi is the issue, because you could plug straight into the router. The same thing that Tony mentioned a minute ago also applies to these. If the battery gets below 35%, then it starts to reduce the power delivered to some of the devices in order to make the device last longer on the battery. So if you get below 35% on your battery charge on one of our 3380s, then you'll likely start seeing a degradation in your service as well. On the right-hand side, there's 2 USB ports and the headphone port and the power port. Oh, power port's on the other side. Whoops, not the power port. That's the lock slot. All right. When you open the laptop, the power button is located to the right of the keyboard next to the delete key. And then a couple other buttons I want to go over are the mute button and volume up and volume down. And then there's a button that'll also mute the microphone. If you're having a situation where your student can't be heard in class, it could be because they've muted their microphone here. So even if they've selected their microphone, if you see this little light right here lit up, that could mean that they're having issues connecting.
I'm sorry, Zach, to interrupt. We didn't see the pictures.
Let me try this again here. You know why? Because I didn't pick my screen. Okay, come on. Why is it doing that? Huh. Can you see my screen yet?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. All right. So we'll go back. This is the power button. It's just to the right of the delete key when you open up the machine to turn it off and on, or turn it on. And then the other keys are right here. So we have the mute key, it's F1, volume down and volume up, and then microphone mute. And that's the one where if a student has selected their microphone, but the teacher still can't hear them during class when they're participating, check and make sure there's not a little light on right here. If that light's on, then it could be that the microphone's muted and it just needs to be unmuted in the hardware. Moving on from there, down here is where you would connect to networks, this little one that's shaped like a fan. The more bars you see, the stronger the signal is. And so I have a good signal today, so that's good. When you click on it, it will list the networks that are available in your area, and you would just select the network you want to connect to. When you select it, there'll be a little checkbox that says connect automatically, and it'll prompt for the password. If you check that box, it'll remember to connect to it whenever it's within range. All right. From there, as already mentioned earlier, that the login for these are similar to the Chromebooks and our other devices. It's HCPS dash last name of your student, first name, middle initial. That's pretty much standard across all the devices. The passwords for these machines, though, are set by the students themselves. So if they've forgotten it and they don't remember their security questions to reset it, then they'll have to come to the help desk to get it reset. If their password has to be changed, it's important that they shut down, restart, and log in again while at school to make sure the computer has picked up that new password. When the students are using their computers, if they are noticing issues with their mic or their camera, there's a website that we use at the help desk to test their mic and camera, and that's onlinemictest.com. Right down here, you would hit play, and it'll ask for permission to use your camera or your device. If you're noticing issues on different sites that need to use the camera and it's not able to work, you can check and make sure access has been granted by clicking on the little lock in the upper left-hand corner. And right here, if permission's been set, like it can be set to block. So if it's on block, then you would set it to allow. And then the microphone will work for that site. It can be set per site. On the same site under tools, there's a webcam test. And if you launch that, then you would hit the play down here and allow permission for your camera. And look for yourself in that section. And if you're there, then you're good. Another thing I want to talk about today is Software Center. And Software Center is like a repository, kind of like the Play Store, where we've approved apps that the students can install and use. Software Center will allow students to access the software that has been provided to them by Henrico County based on the courses that they're taking. And if they go down to their search box and start typing in the word software, they'll find Software Center. And under here, it'll list all the different apps that are available to the student, again, based on their courses. As of right now, the software has to be installed when you're within range of Henrico County's network. So you'd have to, maybe potentially be in a school's parking lot to access the software for install. If a student opens this up and they don't see any software listed, then it could be that there were some steps that need to be run right before school started, where their machine needed to connect to our network and get some updates that were needed. And if those weren't done, then they'd have to get that done. I believe that the directions or the document for that are included in a slideshow that's available of what we've been talking about today. Lastly, from me is just the best practices for using a laptop as much the same as as the other devices we've talked about. It's good to shut down daily. It's good to it's best practices to shut down daily, at least weekly. That just helps clear out anything that might be stuck and not working the way it should. Would help stop those processes and help the machine function more optimally. Are there any questions? All right.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Zach. So the next, we're going to move on to the parent portal is next.
Okie doke. My name is Chad. My coworker Tiffany is here tonight, and we're going to talk, or I'm going to talk a little bit about the Powerschool Parent Portal. I'm going to show two things. Number one, I'm going to show how to create an account for Powerschool Parent Portal, and then I'm also going to go into Powerschool Parent Portal and talk about each of the icons that are in Powerschool Parent Portal. So Powerschool Parent Portal is a powerful, easy to use, secure communication tool that connects teachers, parents, and students. It's kind of like an all-in-one shopping for parents and for students. And the way that you get into that is you have to create an account with the HCPS website. So I'm going to share my screen. And so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to the sis.henrico.k12.va.us/public. And I'll share that in the chat for anyone that needs to access that. But what did you do once you get into this this website? The first thing that you're going to want to do is click on the tab that says Create Account. When you set up the Create an Account, you're going to click on the blue button that says Create an Account, and it's going to open up a page that allows you to put in your parent account details. So what I've done here is I've gone ahead and filled in the information, and this is all the information that you're going to need to create a parent portal account. You'll want to use your first name. Was that a question? No, okay. So you're going to use your first name, your last name, then you're going to use an email address, and then you're going to enter a desired username. The thing about the username, you want to make sure it has no spaces. It's best to just have one continuous phrase, as you see here. Mine is Chaw1207. I've entered in my password. When you create a parent portal account, you must remember that it has to be at least 8 characters long. It has to have an uppercase and 1 lowercase letter, and it must contain 1 letter and 1 number and at least 1 special character. When you're going to create a parent portal account, as you're entering your password information, if you look to the right where it says strongest, Parent Portal will let you see how strong and secure your password is going to be. So as you can see here, mine is pretty strong. I do have an uppercase, a lowercase, and a special character. And my password, I think, is like maybe 12 characters long. So once I have all of that information, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link my students to my account. And the way that I do that is I come here and I enter my student's name, which is first name, last name. I'm going to enter the student number. If this is your first time entering the parent portal, or if you're first time to Henrico County Public Schools, you may not have this student number. And if you don't, the best thing to do is call your school and speak to someone in the front office. They'll probably ask you some identifying questions, such as maybe a point of contact. They may ask you what your kid's birthday is, other information just so that they can give you that number. But once you have the student number, you enter that number into this field. And then the next part is another layer of security where that you're going to enter a formula, which is your student's initials, lowercase, and the birthday. The birthday is going to be in the format of YYYMMDD. So for example, my student is Luca Batman. His middle name starts with an F. So in this block here, I have entered LFB 2009-0902, which is his initials and his birthday. If you have a child with a hyphenated name, most of the time the hyphenated name, the first hyphenated name would be in the initials. So if Luca's name was Luca Frank Batman hyphen Canone, then it would still be LFB, even though he has a hyphenated name. So once I have that information, then I'm going to select a relationship. Powerschool has done a really good job. If you can dream up a relationship, I guarantee you can find it in this dropdown. We have, probation officer, we have agent representative, we also have ward of the court, sister, half sister. I'm just going to choose uncle for Luca. Once I'm done with that, if I have an additional student, I can add up to 5 kids at one time that connects it all. Because with Parent Portal, you just have to have one username and account to see all of your kids' information in Powerschool Parent Portal. So once all this information is done, I would hit enter, and then I would go into Parent Portal. I'm going to enter my username, my password, and I'm going to click sign in. And here is Parent Portal. Can everybody see Parent Portal?
Yes.
Okay, no, just wanted to make sure. So if you notice in the upper left-hand corner, I have 2 students here. Since I have 2 kids linked to my account, I have Luca, who I just created, and then I have Noah, who is another account that is linked to my account. So we're just going to focus on Luca for the time being. So if we go over here to the navigation bar, the first icon is the grades and attendance. The grades and attendance allows you to see all of the grades and attendance for your students that are linked to your account. See here that Luca, he has a Q1 grade of 99.3 for 5th grade English. Within this screen, you can also click the hyperlink for the teacher, and it will open up your email program where you can then email your child's teacher. You can also, underneath the grades, if you click on either the letter grade or the percentage, it will open up the assignments for your individual student. This way you can see not only the grade, but you can see each assignment. You can also see the score that the student got and get more detailed information if you click on the view icon. So you can do this for all of the information that you need for your student. The next icon is called the grade history. So when you click on grade history, you'll see the tabs where for every year that your student has been enrolled in Henrico County Public Schools, you will see a year tab. The year, and then to the right is the school number. So that's denoted. So for right here, if we click on the 1920-082, we see all of the grades for Luca when he was in 4th grade. This allows a parent, maybe if they're trying to figure out, what did Luca get in Q3 for music? You can go back to that history. You can see that he got an S and he got a 96 for music in the 1920 school year. For the email notification, this feature is only for parents in grades 6 through 12. Luca is a 5th grader, so he is not able to have this in portal. Noah is also a 5th grader, but if either of them were in 6 through 12, this is where I could manage my account. I could change what information that I wanted to see. Some of the information that you can see when you do the email notification, you can get a weekly notification of current grades and attendance. You can get a detailed report showing assignment scores for each class. You can also get a detailed report of attendance, of the school announcements, and you can also set up a balance alert if you want to. You control how often that you see it. You can select never, you can select weekly, you can select daily. So you as the parent can determine how much information you want to get emailed from Parent Portal. In the teacher comments icon, this feature displays any comments that a teacher has attached to a report card grade. So we see here that Luca, no teachers have put any comments on his report card, which can be a good thing or a bad thing, just depending on the student. But here for Luca, we don't see any information, but if a teacher had entered information, you would see it right here in the comment box. You can also change the reporting term if you wanted to go to the next Q2, Q3, Q4, and look at that information as well. For class registration, this feature yet again is for rising 6th through 12th graders. This allows them to manage course requests during the school's course recommendation window. So when your upcoming 6th graders through 12, when they are trying to figure out which classes they're going to take in the 21-22 school year, they will have the opportunity to do course requests. You will also have teacher recommendations here as well that shows parents what teachers recommend for their individual students. On the school information icon, this right here gives you all of the information for your school. So let's say, you decide that you want to send some flowers to Cynthia Patterson because she's just, doing a really good job as your kid's principal. You could click here on school information. You can see the school address, the school phone number, the school fax. You can also right here from the school information page, you can click on the blue hyperlink under principal's email. And just like the grades and attendance, it will open in your email and you can send an email to your school's principal. It also at the bottom allows you to see the start and end date for the terms for the current school year. As you see here, we just wrapped up Q1 and we have 46 days. And if everything goes well, June 18th, 2021 will be the last day of school. When you click on My Schedule is a feature that displays your student's schedule. So for some reason, when it comes to, once again, Luca and Noah, since they're elementary kids, it's pretty much just a straight shot. They have 10 periods. They have 10 classes. They most of the time have the same teacher unless it's a specialty like art and music and health, but all the other classes would be their classroom teacher. For weekly schedule, if you have kids that are in 6th through 12th grade, the weekly schedule tab is a really good place to look because of AB block or maybe a rotating schedule. It allows you to immediately see in a quick fashion where your kid is located on a certain day of the week. For the account preferences allow you to manage your parent account. As you can see here, it has registered me with my first and last name. It also has my email address. It also has my username and my current password. If for some reason I needed to change any of that information, I can go to account preferences in Parent Portal and do that right there. You can also, if after you've created an account, you realized one other kid or I need to link another child, you can use the Students tab here, and then once again you can click the Add button and you'll go through the same process where you'll do the first name, last name of your student, you'll need their student number, then you will also need the magic formula of their initials and then their birthday in the YYYMMDD format. Once you're done with that, then you would see that child appear in the upper left-hand corner with the tabs. The access logs allow you to see how many times a user portal account has been accessed. As you can see here, I've accessed portal 3 times. It looks like that Tiffany may have hacked it a couple times last week, but she has been in there as well. You can see Melanie and some other people. So as a parent, if for some reason maybe you just want to know who's accessed your kids' accounts, you can definitely go to Access Logs, and it's all right there for you to see in one easy screen. If for some reason you have an older student and they have created an account, you could see at the bottom the student access summary. So you could see how many times your child has actually accessed Portal as well. The Access Online Forms, if you click on that, it gives you some RICOR stuff, but Joe is going to talk about that later. So I'm just going to show you Access Online Forms is there, and Joe's going to work his magic in a few. The transportation icon, right now, of course, we don't have buses running, but if we did, then if you click the transportation icon, it's going to show you the bus route information for your child. It's going to show the bus number, the run description, the stop description, and the stop time. It's also going to allow you to identify the zone office in case maybe there's some issues that you have maybe with a bus. If you come to the transportation icon, you can click the blue hyperlink that opens up the transportation page on the Henrico Schools webpage. So right there, it takes you to that page and you can quickly access how to get in contact if for some reason your child is having some issues with transportation. The Schoology icon. The Schoology icon is the learning platform that organizes all of our digital elements, and it shows all of the learning and your child's courses, calendars, updates, assignments, and groups. Sorry, let me click on Schoology. There we go. So this right here, it shows the parent access information for Luca. It gives me my Schoology access code, and then it also gives me some instructions for connecting to Schoology. It allows me to see what information that I need, and then it allows me to get a Schoology access code and then reach out for any kind of help if I need. There's also an FAQ if you need help with Schoology that takes you to a really nice Henrico Schoology FAQ page. The last icon in Parent Portal is the Student Access account. This is a new page that was just created this year. It's a one-stop shop for parents and students where that students or parents can see the username for their child, which is always HCPS dash and then the username. It gives a password. Passwords are pretty static when it comes to elementary, but when it comes to secondary, there is a little variance there. It also lists the email address for that student, If you notice, the username is also the username for the email, followed by the henricostudents.org. A parent and a student can also get their lunch ID here, so that way, in case the kid needs the lunch ID or maybe they don't remember it, it is right here in this information. And then the very last thing is student number. Student number, just in case you need it, is in Parent Portal. But of course, you do have to have student number before you can create an account. Once again, if you don't have that number, a lot of times you can find it on any official documentation from HCPS. It's on a report card, it could be on a letter, or you can always call your kid's school and get that information. The very last thing is just to note that there is a Powerschool app out on the Apple App Store and the Google Play. Before you can access the Powerschool mobile app, you have to create a Powerschool Parent Portal account online. You cannot create your account using the app. You have to actually go online to create the account. Once you have that account, then you can begin to use the mobile app. Just remember that not all the features that I've shown today are going to be available on the app. Really, the web-based app, which I've shown you, the Parent Portal, it's really your one-stop shopping. It has all the bells and whistles. It's everything you need. The only thing that you have to remember is if you do download the app, once it downloads, it's going to ask you for your district code. And this code, MXCM, is the 4-digit access code needed to link your account to Henrico County Public Schools. So that is Parent Portal. Are there any questions? I will throw it over to Joe now.
Thank you, Chad.
You're welcome, Joe.
All right. 1 second. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Brown. I work on the data integration team for the technology department, where we basically we work with many of our external systems that that talk to our main system, which is Powerschool. Just piggybacking off of what Chad was speaking on. The external systems in our department allows us to provide even more technology to our families. And it gives us, like I said, the ability to have our student information in those systems to make it easy for you to access and log in and those kind of things. So one of those things is being able to go from the Parent Portal to the online forms portal with one sign-in. So basically what you would do is you would click on that button that says Access Online Forms, which we will actually go over in a second on what that portal looks like. But just to kind of give you some insight on what to expect when you get into that portal. So basically, the role of that portal is to house like various forms for various school forms. So district forms, one in particular is our back to school form. So, you know, kind of, I'm going to say back in the day, but the normal process is, you know, first day of school, there's a packet of paperwork that comes home, you fill that out. It may take a couple of days to fill that paperwork out, but then you send it back to school with your student. Really not sure if it gets in the hands of where it needs to go or if, you know, something's missing. Well, the convenient part of the online forms is that those back to school forms, you can just log in and fill them out online. And, you know, you can see your confirmations and see that certain forms are completed. And like I said, it's convenient. So you can do it from a computer for the most part. It looks pretty good on the computer, but you can also do it from a mobile device. It just looks a little bit different, which we'll talk about in just a second. But that's mainly the role of the online forms portal. So in addition to the back to school forms, we also house different school related forms, such as our, we have parents go in to give students permission to give us permission for students to sign up to request transcripts that go to different colleges. So there's some schools have, well, I believe all the high schools, all the high schools have a form in there for you to give your child permission to create an account. That way their college can get access to their transcripts. We also house a couple applications that a couple application processes that we have throughout the county. One of the bigger applications being the Maggie Walker Governor School for 8th graders. So those 8th graders actually, you would log in, and if your child was selected to go to the Maggie Walker Governor School, you log into the online forms portal and fill out the application there. Another big one that we have is on night school. So if you have a student who has a need to go to night school, that application is actually in this portal as well. And we expect this system to continue to evolve, pretty quickly and have even more forms available so that we can truly take advantage of the technology that we have here in Henrico. With that being said as well, it's pretty critical, as Chad was speaking on, that you have a parent portal account. The parent portal account is going to give you access to other things as well, like Chad was displaying. And also, like I said, it gives you quick access to that online forms portal. Now, so once again, recommend you to sign up for that. Before I actually pull up the RightCore portal, I did want to kind of share my screen really quick and show you, while Chad's information is pretty fresh. Hold on 1 second. I do want to show you that this, give you a quick glance of this nice, can you all see this?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, I do want to give you a quick glance of this nice online services page that we created not too long ago. And you go to the main Henrico Schools website. So if you have issues signing up for the parent portal or issues with accessing the online forms portal, if you click on online services here on the Henrico County page, I'm just highlighted just to make sure everyone can see where I'm clicking. You click on that and it gives you the landing page. Gives you a nice intro video, gives you some instructions for the parent portal, as I stated, even Schoology and RightCore. So RightCore is a name for our online forms portal, but we really just call it, online forms. Just kind of keep it simple. But if you forget some of the information that we go over today and you have issues accessing it, you can just use this page here on the HCPS website. And there's some other online services resources here as well. So I just want to kind of let you all know that is there as a follow-up resource if you need it. And then we're going to just dive into the online forms portal. So again, as Chad stated, there's an Access Online Forms button in the parent portal. Once you click on that icon, it actually takes you to this landing page here. Now, this is a test portal, of course, but it looks the same for the most part. What you have here at the top, you have a couple different tabs. Now, I do want to mention one of the things that get a little confusing with our families, and that is that if you have multiple students attached to your parent portal account, you will see all the names at the top here. So you have summary, which gives you just a summary of your students. It gives you like a highlight. If we have some critical information, we'll post that here. So letting you know it's not a fee payment system and those type of things. But then also it shows you which students are in your portal so you can use that as a page to make sure that all of your students are listed. Okay. If you need to dive into the form for a particular student, you would use the tabs along the summary tab. So you got testing 1, which is my testing student 1. You would click on that, and then you go over to student 2. So you would click on the 1 student, complete your forms, click on the 2nd student. If you only have 1 student, it's going to take you immediately to one of these pages, to a page that looks like this, because of course there's no additional students to navigate through. But like I said, if you have multiple students, the key thing to know is that you navigate between students on this top bar here. Okay. So this kind of also shows you, student testing. Okay, student 1. So at the top here, you have, sorry if I'm scrolling a little too much. But at the top here, you have your student name, which would be here at the top. It won't highlight for me, so sorry about that. But you have your student name at the top, the grade. You may have some intro information. Welcome to the online forms portal. Any critical information that you need to complete these forms, we're normally pretty good about putting that information there. The first section you have is completed forms. So there you can see, as you complete your forms, which forms you have completed. You also have the option to edit. Now, some forms you can edit, some you cannot. But if it is available, this edit button here to the right side will allow you to edit. You can look at the form. So if I wanted to review this art release form, it's basically giving us to release my students, your students' artwork. I would click on view to just see that form that I completed. So you have testing student, you have your signature, you can see all of that just to kind of, if you want to circle back to it. If you want to exit out of that, you just hit the X at the top here, or you can hit cancel, which is at the bottom. All right, if you made any changes to this form, that's what the history column is for. It'll show you the history of that particular form. And it may not be much in here because I don't think we really touched this much. But it'll tell you it's completed, the date that it was modified, last modified, and those type of things. Okay. And it also has the last modified date here. But in addition to that, of course, you have your forms that you need to complete, which is at the bottom here. So a good example is I was stating our back to school form. You read the student code of conduct. You need to sign off on it to show that you understand and agree. You click on the acknowledgement page here and read through the acknowledgement, and you sign off on it and hit submit at the bottom. So you put in all the required fields. If they are required, they normally would have an asterisk by them. You sign your signature and hit submit, and that will send that over to our end so we can process those into our system. Okay. Also, just this one in particular, we wouldn't post the entire code of conduct because it's so long, but we have the link here at the top. So there may be some forms that may be like that, where the actual manual or handbook that you're signing is through a link, but you're just signing off on the acknowledgement page here. So keep an eye out for those type of things. But like I said, we try to give you quick access to that if we can by putting the link up here. So this is a good example of that. In addition to that, you see our other forms that we have here, media denial. So just different forms that we have. And like I said, if there's a application that we have in here, like I said, the Maggie Walker Governor School or Night School, those applications will show up just like that. It probably will be under a different tab. So instead of it saying back to school forms, it may say Evening School of Excellence, which is what we call night school. If you recall, we recently sent out a student survey for parents to go in or families to go in and complete the survey of their student intent. That was through RICOR as well. You would click on the student intent tab and the form was there. You would go in, complete your survey, and then you, of course, hit submit at the bottom, make your selections, sign off on it, and hit submit at the bottom here. Okay, so that's just an overview of the different forms and things like that we have. It does vary by grade level sometimes, as well as by school, because different school and different grade levels have different forms available to students, but that is how you access it. One of the key things to note is that the online forms portal is not available through the Powerschool mobile app, which I know many of you probably have. If not, it's my hope that we sign up after the meeting today. But you cannot get to it through that mobile app. You have to actually use either like Google, if you have iPhone, Safari on your mobile device, or you can use a computer, just any kind of computer that has access to the web and a web browser on it. Where you go in and hit www.suchandsuch.com. You go into that and you just put that link, or go to our Henrico website and click on the link from that online services page under Powerschool, and that'll take you right in. But just be sure that you're using a browser of some type, whether it's, like I said, on the mobile device or on even an iPad or a Kindle. Some Kindles you can use as well. And just make sure that you're using the browser, and like I said, not using that Powerschool mobile app. One last thing that I want to note is that as you do complete the online forms through the portal, most of the forms do kick off a confirmation page to your email. So the email address that you have on file that you sign up with for your parent portal account with, it will send off an email confirming that you completed certain forms. So the same forms that are under this completed forms tab, for the most part, a lot of times there may be some hiccups because they may go to like your spam or junk folder, but you should get an email confirmation stating that you completed certain forms. So be on the lookout for that. But that pretty much sums it up. And like I said, if you have additional questions about the parent portal or even the Access Online Forms, which is RICOR, be sure to just check out that the connection online services page through our Henrico County website. And I'll pass it back to someone else next, and was that last?
Joe, you were the last one. Unless
Okay.
anybody else on the technology team has anything else they'd like to add. Are there any questions before we pass it back to Leslie? Okay. So Leslie, we are all wrapped up on the technology side. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you again for your expertise and for taking time out your schedule to do this training for us. We've recorded it and we're going to put it on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
So for those who could not make it, they can check training there. So again, I thank you on behalf of Dr. Mans and the Equity and Diversity Department for this training this evening.
You're quite welcome.
Yes,
we really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone have a good evening.
All right, you all have a good one.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.